Hey, hey, here we are, another day. Hey guys, welcome to the Green Nurse Daily Dose of AFA, where we bring you high vibes. No, we know we bring you hope and inspiration for growth and healing so you can start your day off the AFA way. And in case you have forgotten, Nurse Mark wrote a book about it, right? However, Nurse Mark, who is absolutely fucking amazing, is on vacation with his beautiful wife, Jamie, for her 40th birthday. And they are actually celebrating their first year anniversary in marriage. So he literally took her to Paris last night. And I have my beautiful colleague, Green Nurse Carey Lee from Iowa, and she's here today for my co-host. So rise and shine, everyone. It is Green Nurse Carey Lee time and Daily 5 to Thrive. So Carey Lee, so honored to have you here. It's so much fun to do these videos with you because you are AFA, right? So say hi to everyone today and give them a little
hello, everybody. Sherry,
yes.
Thank you so much for having me on here. I'm absolutely honored to be here with you on this platform. And Nurse Mark, Nurse Jamie, have a lovely, lovely time in Europe. So this is great. What a great day. It's Friday.
I know, it's Friday. Fry Day. Welcome, everyone. We do bring you hope and inspiration for growth and healing. And here we are. We're here on Friday, July 9th, 2021. So Carey Lee, I want everyone to know, I'm honored to have you here because you've been doing some amazing work in the cannabis space. So just give everyone a little bit of background, from Iowa, kind of what's going on in your world and what you do in the cannabis space. So we can get into that Daily 5 to Thrive.
Actually, I just, hooked up with you, became a Green Nurse Iowa after much rigorous study and clinical experience with you. So right here on the ground in Iowa, we have a medical cannabidiol program, and I help people, get connected to the program. I provide one-on-one education on the endocannabinoid system. I like to say, I like to think my expertise lies more with behavioral health, non-acute, of course. Talking anywhere from, PTSD, anxiety, depression. I know this as both clinician and patient, so I feel like I could really connect with another human being on that.
That's what's so powerful too about Carey Lee. You know how powerful it is. We as cannabis nurses, the majority of us that come into the cannabis space come in because we're patients. We may have had a relationship with cannabis, in our younger years, but over time, as we've gotten older and we started to really learn about the plant and our own health, as we've had challenges with our own health, and learning about this. So we're coming from, as cannabis nurses with the Green Nurse, we're coming from both sides of the coin, the patient perspective, the provider perspective, or the client perspective, and the clinician perspective.
Absolutely.
So, yeah. And I think I think what that brings is it just brings another layer to healing where we can actually look into a patient's eyes and say, hey, I've been there. You know what I mean? I know what you're going through.
And you know what? I believe you. I see you, I hear you, and I believe you in terms of what's happening.
Really?
Right? It's a connection,
Yeah,
so.
It is. And here's the thing. And so when we share, so it's, we talk about this on Monday, and we're going to get into Motivational Monday on Monday when Carey Lee comes back. But we talk about, what keeps us passionate about nursing in the cannabis space. And it's really that connection with patients, having that heart connection, that transpersonal nursing connection, Gene Watson's theory of human caring. What we're learning more and more, and doctors are calling us woo-woo. Well, guess what? Woo-woo is for you. Right? So really, we're caring for the entire human experience, and the human experience includes not only physiological, biological, human meat, flesh suit health, but also the mental, emotional, spiritual components of it. So I say we sprinkle some of that unicorn magical fairy dust on everyone and really, really, really open up people's minds and consciousness, because it really is. It's like that change, that shift of perception. And here it is. The bottom line is this: is it starts with you. And basically, I know at the point in time, and I'm sure you can identify, Carey Lee, at one point in time in our lives, we felt that there was no magic. You know what I mean? And so you had to, it was like,
absolutely.
And
when that veil lifts and you realize you see the magic everywhere, and it's just and here's what else I want to say. If being woo-woo is wrong, I don't want to be right, honey. That's what I say.
There you go. there's a meme for the day.
Right. Okay. Meme creation.
Yeah. And so one of the things that I really learned from you, Carey Lee, is, about, and here's, we talk about everything that supports and doesn't support the endocannabinoid system. And what's so cool is your evolution in the cannabis space and developing your own brand, Nurse Carey Lee, Soul Thrive, is that you've come up with this little basic 5 to thrive. You're a firm believer in getting back to the basics in terms of nourishing and supporting our endocannabinoid system to thrive. So what does that look like? I love it.
I mean, you know what? I mean, it's actually crazy because before I even became a nurse, as part of my own healing journey, trying to, deal with pharmaceutical trauma and just, the behavioral health aspect, the things that I was going through with that, I learned that, guess what? Sleep was important. Sleep is not just important, it's vital, it's crucial, it's number one, especially for those dealing with, any type of mood dysregulation. Plant-based nutrition. I mean, adequate hydration, getting rid of the pop and going to drink water, sunshine, being out in nature. Here was the big one, being physical every day. I like to say moving your ass every single day. I mean, it's like that should replace antidepressants. We should be pushing and motivating people to get physical. You know what I mean? So, and the last piece of it is, mindfulness and spirituality. I mean, feed your soul, people. What are we doing? It's the whole thing, mind, body, spirit. And so, fast forward a few years later, I went to nursing school again, kind of part of, figuring out how to help myself, and then to help others. But, it just kind of all clicked, getting into the cannabis space. I'm like, oh my God, all of these things that, I've built into my own personal regimen, they all support and nourish the endocannabinoid system. Like, that's insanity. I just, bing. So it's just like, 5 to thrive. It's like, I just really want to help people get from a state of survival. Like, I want to take them from their survival zone to the thrive zone, baby. That's what I strive for I'm not going to thrive every single day, but it's great to strive for it. It's great to shoot for it. Like, that's the goal, right?
Yes. Strive to thrive, not just to survive. Whew, there you go.
Another meme. What are we doing? What are we doing here today?
No. I know what we're doing here today is, here it is. Now, here's the next part, which I love, because this leads into the next segment. We talk about, mindfulness, spirituality, meditation, how we start off our mornings. Mark generally starts out the day with the daily love, which I love. And today, I want to know how you start off your day. How do you get into the thrive zone first thing in the morning? So shine your light, Carey Lee. Let's see what you do. What do you do?
It's okay. So I mean, really, besides the usual coffee and cannabis, because let's be honest, it's a girl's best friend, correct?
Absolutely, Mary Jane. I call it Mother Mary Jane. Mother,
yes.
Mother, where are you, Mother? Mother Mary Jane.
I have several different daily inspirational books that I'll read through. I also try to pull at least one card from one of my oracle decks, and I especially do a lot of work with. I have one deck. It's not an oracle deck. It's really a deck by Dr. Orloff. It's called The Power of Surrender cards. It's really about reprogramming your subconscious. So really just removing, kicking those negative core beliefs out of the subconscious and bringing in some positive ones, right? But I wanted to actually share with you guys today the book, one of her books that I have. I love this book, Thriving as an Empath, 365 Days of Self-Care for Sensitive People. So I'm highly empathic. I'm HSP.
Wait, just for new people that are watching. So empathic, Carey Lee. So people that are empaths are extremely highly intuitive in feeling. We can actually feel people's thoughts Seriously, I can feel what you're thinking, feel their energy a mile away. Oftentimes, because we're empathic and we care so much, empathy is sympathy plus kindness and compassion, and being able to really step into that other person's shoes. And so oftentimes when we're in that space of stepping into another person's shoes and feeling that, we can take it on because we want to heal it so bad that we take on that energy, and it can be really draining. Right, Carey Lee? Would that sum it up?
Yes. So this book has been really invaluable for me personally. I still haven't reined in, controlling and discerning between my own, what's mine and what is others, and all that good stuff. So this book has really helped me learn some really great tools. And today, July 9th, this is actually, you're going to like this one. I got to put my readers on, girl. Hold on.
That's all right. Put those specs on.
Once you hit the 40s, girl, you got to get your readers on.
There you go.
So today, July 9th, is deja vu.
Ooh.
Have you experienced deja vu before? I know I do all the time. It's crazy.
You have no idea. I've experienced deja vu in the weirdest times, the weirdest situations that have almost brought on panic attacks.
Yes, and massive goosies.
Yeah. So what does it say?
Here's the reading. So it says, have you ever experienced a strong sense of familiarity with someone, even though you've never met before? Or in the midst of a situation, have you felt as if you've already gone through these exact circumstances? If so, this is an intuition known as deja vu, which comes from the French expression meaning already seen. Train yourself to be aware of experiencing deja vu, which can happen within seconds of meeting someone. This knowing is easy to miss or disregard if you are busy or distracted, but slowing down to explore it can be incredibly meaningful. You might meet a soul friend, a devoted ally for life. You can talk to them about anything and they will understand. Or you might need to pay closer attention to a specific situation, such as a business venture or a health concern, to make the best decision. Recognizing a deja vu draws you closer to the mystery of life. And so the intention, and this is the cool thing, so she gives you this little blurb, and then she gives you an intention to kind of set to help support. And so today's intention, if I have a deja vu experience, I will take special notice and examine the message it is conveying. I will not second guess myself or be too busy to pay attention to this experience.
Ooh,
isn't that
awesome.
Cool? I love that. And then, I have to say, like, it's something like that. Then you tend to think on it.
Yeah, it does. It's
automatically throughout the day, right? So
it's a theme. It's something to consider. It's doing. So here it is. These types of things helps us to do the internal work that we need to be in that thrive zone, right? Because here, I was on a TikTok video, me and my TikToks, and there was a guy that was asking, ladies over 30, what would you tell your 20-year-old self? What would you tell? And the message, it's literally, that was part of it, is to pay attention, to notice, to be aware. You come into this world and there's no one more important than you. Self-care, knowing yourself, taking care of your meat suit, the biopsychosocial, like I said, I've forgotten, we come into this world spiritual, playful, loving, and then we get conditioned. So it's really about like getting back to shifting back to spiritual principles, and really and you're only going to get that when you pay attention and aware of it. So this book and this reading is so powerful because it's allowing our minds to start to process different types of information for healing, right?
Yes.
If you're not aware of something and no one's pointed it out to you, so it's just kind of like number prompts. A lot of us out here in the woo-woo community see patterns and repeating numbers. And those can be, you can make the meaning of it to be anything, but I choose to believe it as a message from my angels. And so these are the types of things that actually can stop you in your tracks, make you, what are you thinking about right now? What's going in your life? And boy, am I in a good space to make the best decision? It's a prompt. I look at them, it's spiritual prompts. And how cool is it that you have a book that you can self-soothe right away? And it's always going to be a message that we need to hear.
I love it. Yeah, I really just started doing this. I really started incorporating this piece just this year. Started January 1st, and it's really been very impactful. I mean, prior to this, I was gratitude journaling, and I still gratitude journal. But I don't know. I just really feel like, and we all agree, you have to fill the tank in each of these areas: mind, body,
Right.
spirit. When
Right.
one is imbalanced, it's going to trickle down into the others. And I'm all about balance, always striving for balance.
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh.
So really quickly, good morning, everyone. We just got through our woo-woo section of the show, which we're all about the woo. High Vibe Friday. So good morning, Ashley and Brian. Oh, Bloom, Ashley, and Brian, and everyone that's out there. Say hello to us. We're so grateful that you're here.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Happy Fry.
Happy Friday. Cheers, cheers. Wake and bake. We're getting into the Thrive Zone, bringing in a little woo and some energy and talking about, positivity and shifting perspective and, intentions and affirmations, all good stuff. And this is going to lead into our next topic, which is going to talk about cannabis and how cannabinoids can help with a specific disorder. So seasonal affective disorder, we often think of it being winter time. And Carey Lee's going to get into this a little bit different because there is a summer SAD, seasonal affective disorder. It's not common, but it exists. And she's going to get into it in a little bit. And so SAD is kind of a sad name. So I'm going to bring a little Spicoli twist to it. Okay. Because I love Spicoli. So think about that. SAD is super awesome, dude. You have an opportunity to heal.
I'm dying. That's so cute. I love it.
I was thinking of that this morning. I was like, how can I bring Spicoli into this topic? And cannabis whispered in my ear, SAD isn't so sad. It's an opportunity for healing. Right? Super awesome, dude. And so let's talk about that because it's really important. A lot of people, that suffer from this disorder will think, why am I depressed in the wintertime or summertime? It's beautiful out. It's sunny. It's gorgeous. Why am I having these feelings? And they don't know where to go and they don't know where to turn. And then they start to feel, I'm not going to lie. I know my perspective when I was having sad symptoms 24/7, 365 days a year, you literally think that there's something really wrong with you and you start to judge yourself. And then that spirals down another whole path that we don't want to get into. So we're here to educate you on the differences between winter and summer SAD and how cannabis plays a role in managing that and helping that so you can get into your Thrive Zone. All right, Carey Lee, you're on. Let's talk about winter and summer SAD.
I mean, it's absolutely, first of all, it's fascinating. The differences of the symptoms are pretty, opposite. So with winter SAD, it's really common for one to oversleep, have really super low energy. They'll have a significant increase in cravings of those, sugary, carby foods, and that triggers sometimes really extreme weight fluctuations, weight gain. So with, summer SAD, it's the opposite. You've got someone who is experiencing insomnia. They don't have low energy. They're in a higher energy, almost an agitated state.
Like hypomanic almost?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know that I would call it hypomanic necessarily, because I know winter SAD folks can experience some hypomania, or is it really hypomania, or is it really just who they really are? That's a whole other topic. Anyway, sorry. I'm
okay.
trailing off to the side, but no, an agitated state, like highly anxious, and they lose their appetite. It's crazy. And with winter SAD, the main culprit, the main trigger is lack of light, lack of sunshine. So the further away in either direction from the equator that you live, and that reduced sunlight exposure, there's that trigger. With summer SAD, the main triggers are, this physiological response to heat and too much light. So it's like, wow, right? I mean, and what you just said in the very beginning, describing that, oh my God, it's summer. I should be feeling like these summer flowy, convertible top down, wind blowing in my hair, the smell of copper tone in the air, toes in the sand. I mean, I could go on and on because I friggin' love summer, but you could see where someone would feel like, oh my God, what's wrong with me? And it's like, no, there's nothing wrong with you. You're super sensitive to the seasons, and it's crazy, isn't it? It's just
right. Yeah. And you also mentioned too, which I like, really cool, is even though, hypothetical triggers, this kind of actually makes sense too when we talk about our body's response to inflammation. You mentioned something about in your notes here that a hypothetical trigger is increased pollen exposure, setting off our body's immune system to inflammation, releasing cytokines, which have been connected to depression. So that's really powerful too. I didn't even think of that. So, right. But it kind of makes sense.
It sure does.
Well, and think about like the endocannabinoid system, right? So we have that, that allergic response, the pollen sets off our immune response to inflammation, releases the cytokinins. And here's the thing too, is the on-off switch of the endocannabinoid system. If you have an endocannabinoid system deficiency and you're not able to auto-regulate or to adjust to that stressor or change, then what happens is, so our immune system's linked to our gut. Oftentimes our gut starts to go to hell, microbiome, our enteric nervous systems communicates to our central nervous system. So you can see it's like a cascade of effects. And so we're talking about the endocannabinoid system. We need to take care of it. Really, really important. So just to think that pollen exposure, immune response, inflammation, cytokines, depression. Wow.
And I feel like when I hear inflammation, I instantly think CBD. I instantly think CBG, anti-inflammatory. And that's why I know we're going to talk about this in just a few minutes, but that's why when I think about one that's dealing with any type of mood dysregulation, non-acute, of course, I'm thinking, higher ratio CBD.
Oh,
hands down, 1,000%,
And here's the reason why. You think about this, when we talk about the endocannabinoid system being the largest neurotransmitter signaling system in our body, it regulates all 11 organ systems, our immune system, and all of the neurotransmitters. CBD interacts with, indirectly with our CB1 and CB2 receptors, but interacts directly with the serotonin, the dopamine, the opioid, the trip receptors, the vanilloid receptors, all of these other receptor signaling systems, right? And the goal, right, is when we want to make sure that we keep our anxiety down while we're managing depression. Too much THC can make you depressed.
And you know what? And anxiety is a very, very huge component to seasonal depression, paragraph. So, and really horrible negative core beliefs. You really want to, you start to see the avoidance behavior, avoiding social scenarios, avoiding interaction with people. It's just, that isolation, as we both know, because we've both experienced isolation like that in similar ways, that, just kind of makes you spiral even further down the drain. So
I call it the drain of despair.
I actually was reading Dr. Norman Rosenthal. He's really the father of research when it comes to seasonal affective disorder. Excellent book he has, if anyone out there is interested. Winter Blues. This is the most recent edition. This really goes in depth on the history. It goes back way long. So, other. I'm sorry. I was going to say
no. This is great.
I was going to say other triggers that going into the summer season, like people that anticipatory anxiety, heading into summer, and they may be aware of some of those patterns. Swimsuit season and one that has a negative body image, that could be a trigger. To trigger, elevate. Travel, the thought of travel and concerns about financial worries. Here's a big one. When someone's routine is disrupted, meaning they have a break from school or they have, their work production is naturally a little bit less in the summer for travel or whatnot. You know, a lot of people rely upon their work and their school schedules to keep them grounded from feeling lost. So when that's removed and taken away, all of a sudden it's like, wow, what the hell do I do with myself? It's
yeah, the human body and the mind and the psyche and how we respond. You know, some people have winter sad, you know, the dark. Some people have summer sad, too much light and heat, you know, and these other, it's very, very interesting. And this is really good. And so this is the whole point, y'all, which we're going to get around to is cannabinoids can help, you know, because Carey Lee, we did a couple of shows last year where we got into really depth and detail going through different aspects of the seasonal affective disorder. And it was a wonderful presentation. It's actually up on YouTube. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a link into that so people can watch it. But let's talk about cannabis and how, you know, what you've learned, and based on Cannakeys, you know, which is a research website that we use. Dr. Yu Blushing created it. It's a really great website. What are your thoughts on how we should use cannabis when we have like seasonal affective disorder?
Well, you know, there wasn't anything. The cool thing about that program is you can search by medical conditions. So I did attempt a search on major depression with a seasonal component, and there wasn't one to that specific category. So you just kind of base everything off of the major depression, because that's really what it is. It's major depressive disorder with a seasonal component. So, you know, I think the main go-to with any behavioral health in this light would be going with a higher ratio of CBD to THC. So, for example, you would want to consider maybe a 2-to-1 ratio, 3-to-1, 4-to-1 ratio, you know, for daytime use. And so this would be really good, that higher level of CBD to help combat that anxiety. But having that THC is so important as well to help with our physiological issues that are related to that anxiety, like the clenching and the contraction of the muscles, you know, and you know, the physical pain associated with that, you know. So, and then I always, you know, people that are battling with depression on any level, but especially seasonal, they're battling with some form of either oversleeping or insomnia. Now, for summer folks, they're battling with the insomnia. So I would then possibly, you know, educate on going for your more THC rich product at night. I like to tell people when the day is over, your responsibilities, you've successfully achieved everything and you're done and it's time to go night-night, pull out the THC rich, correct.
Why not? Here's the thing.
Sink into relaxation and get your rest on, you know?
Get your rest on, it is appropriate. We deserve to feel good. We deserve, you know, some of my most productive moments has been when I've been consuming, you know, THC to the point of feeling a little bit more elevated. It's like, you know, and I almost have to shift. I have this cool, fun, funky energy, and part of me wants to do stuff. And it's like, no, I need to self-soothe and self-care and get into this experience and do things that make me feel good. Part of that, I call it the hour of power, where you're reading or meditating or exercising or laughing or just doing something fun, reading something fun. You know, anyways, we got off track, but anyway, I really like, I really like, you know, how, you know, you talk about that. So using, rich,
I love
and the other thing,
I mean, not to interrupt you, but I really want to make this point. It's like when I initially, you know, started searching for CBD, I wasn't a nurse. I was desperate to come off of the psychiatric pharmaceuticals because, quite frankly, after years of being on them, the side effects were way more heinous than the actual illness itself, the ailment itself, and could not figure out what the hell, what side effects were coming from which medication. So it was like, I've got to go with something else. When I discovered CBD, you know, anti-anxiety, antidepressant, anti-inflammatory, antipsychotic properties, anti-seizure properties, which we all know, you know, off-label is used as, you know, for mood, as mood stabilizers. Yeah. So for me, it was like, I would much, and most patients that I'm working with, they want to go organically. They want to treat themselves organically with the plant. They don't want the white medicine.
They don't want the white medicine.
As Heather Shelton says, as Heather Shelton calls it. So
I love that. So it totally makes sense. So So cannabinoid rich activity. So we whole plant, CBD ratio greater than THC. That is a chemo type 3, which is great. I love the nighttime insomnia using THC rich products, whole plant, including the rest of the plant, all the different cannabinoids, the terpenes, the essential fatty acids, using whole plant. The other thing I like too is, we have a lot of great affiliate companies too, and I'll put that link up too for Green Nurse approved. But what we're doing, Carey Lee, and all the Green Nurses, is we are evaluating product lines. Here it is we are patients. It's expensive, right? We want people to be able to get the best products available. So I really like how you keep getting back to whole plant and the type of product and the type of product, what you should look for. Number one, a certificate of analysis. That's the basic bottom line. COAs, third party. And if they have that, then it's at least in the category of meeting Green Nurse approved. There's other things, but we'll get into that later. But anyway, so I really like that. Some of the other cannabinoids that are really helpful for seasonal affective disorder in your experience.
I've recently been playing around with CBN over the past year for nighttime, and I gotta say I love it. Big, huge fan. I like CBG again for those anti-inflammatory aspects, because inflammation is definitely a big culprit of all chronic illness and ailments. So those would be my two really big go-tos. Other than the CBD. CBD's king for me. And when I'm educating, most people that are coming to me, they're looking for the THC, they're looking for the cannabis card. And I'm just like, yes, I'm gonna connect you to that. Don't worry. But let's not forget about this little guy over here in the corner, CBD, because that's a powerful punch. So please consider that, especially with those who are battling any of the behavioral, because there's such a huge stigma with working with patients with behavioral ailments and cannabis. And, I really want to help break that stigma, because it works. It works.
Does work.
When you get the right education and you get the right regimen down, it works. There's too many people out there with treatment resistant depression.
I know.
And the plant can help with that, and they don't need to suffer.
So it's great. So
now I'm going to get upset. Now I'm going to get angry, and you're going to
You're awesome.
Get up on my soapbox now.
but that's the part. So Carey Lee, this is the part that's just so wonderful, that just makes my heart so full, is that, as you've been there as a patient, and you have pulled your boot, like literally the bottom of the barrel, the stories that she's told. You have to watch some of our previous podcasts, and how plant medicines, mindfulness, all the tools to support and nourish the endocannabinoid system. You're thriving, you're not just surviving, you're thriving. And it's really,
thank you, plant. I mean, not to sound like a total cheese ball, hashtag thank you, plant medicine. I am not freaking kidding. And I think the majority of people that are utilizing cannabinoid therapeutics would agree. Thank you, plant medicine.
Completely agree. So this has been awesome. So you know what, you guys, come back too a little bit later. So everyone that's joined us this morning, thank you so much for joining us. Share the love, spread the love of plant medicine, share the love of woo woo. I'm sorry, I'm hooked on the woo. And join us, because we're going to continue this dialogue, but we're going to focus on an aspect called Healy. It's this little microcurrent device. She's got one on right now. Energy healing, microcurrent, frequency, vibration, filling up our bioenergetic field using this cool machine. We're going to do a little tiny presentation on it, not much, but we want you to feel it. We're going to do a little meditating with frequencies. We're just going to we're going to continue this dialogue, but focusing on something different. Hi,
so
guys.
come and get your good vibrations, people. We got plenty to dish out.
And then what do we got going on here, Carey Lee? And then down below here, the Green Nurse Holistic Caring Community. Carey Lee, you just joined. What do you think?
Wow. I mean, mind blown. I wish I would have had this coming in the beginning of my cannabis nursing career. This is invaluable. I love it. It's private. Number one, private. That's, I think, one of the biggest concerns for most people, is they don't want to be connected to cannabis quite yet. You know what I mean?
Right.
They want to, you know.
And that's the part too, Carey Lee. So you just think about that. It's private. And it's called Holistic Caring Community, the Green Nurse Holistic Caring Community. So, and because when we educate, cannabinoid therapeutics isn't just about cannabis. It's a part of the pie. So the Green Nurse Holistic Caring Community is comprised of patients, providers, products. You know, we're bringing health, healing, wellness, everything that supports and nourishes the endocannabinoid system is in this community. There's a free course that's being offered there. There's patient modules. All of our podcasts are there. We have a whole woo section, you know, energy healing. You know, so it's
there is something for everyone. And this is not just for clinicians. This is for wellness professionals. This is for patients, for their caregivers. This is for anybody that wants to come in and learn from like-minded people about holistic health, you know,
and cannabis.
Awesome.
And we
grateful.
teach. God, and you are adding so much value to it too. So already I saw in the community, Carey Lee was ripping through. You know, I love it. It was just, you know, because that's it.
I'm like a tornado. Here I come.
I was like, here she is. She's arrived, you know, bringing her Thrive Zone to the community. And that's the place that's so cool, is that you'll be able to connect with us. Literally, it's a community. You can connect with us. You can message with us. And we can provide you tips, tricks, and hugs and nugs. So
yes.
So we're wrapping it up this morning. What are your final words of wisdom for everyone today?
I mean, you know what? Please go out and do something today or this weekend just for the joy of it. No expectations. You're not expecting anything in return other than you just want to have some fun. Seriously, we all need to have a little bit of fun.
Yeah. So here's the meta. We're going to end with the meta. I love it. May you have joy. May I have joy. May we have joy. And remember, everyone, what it's really all about. It's about living your best life and helping others do the same. Thank you so much, everyone. See you at 9 a.m. And now I have to figure out how I can, oh my God. I'm stuck. My cursor, I've got 3 computers surrounding me. Here we go. I found it. All right, y'all. We love you. See you at 9.